In this video, I'm going to share with you some key moments from my online business career that has led to the growth that I've had over the past years, so that if you have an online business of your own, you can learn from these lessons I'm about to share, apply them to your own journey, and hopefully that will lead to some growth. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Okpe. I work with high ticket coaches and we've signed 3,000 plus clients for them in the past few years. We've made multiple seven figures for these clients, and these clients have truly gotten amazing results from working with us. But that's not the point of the video, and let's just get into the video. The first business that I started was an e-commerce business. It was about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I'm not sure anymore. And this business, I took all my savings at the time, all the money I had been saving from my allowance from my parents. I used the savings to purchase a bunch of e-commerce products from China. And there were products like shoes, bags, clothes, and so on and so forth. So I purchased these products from China, and then my plan was to resell these products to people in my country. It just so happened that when I was expecting the shipment, COVID happened and I could not get these products. And these products took way long to get to me. But that wasn't really the thing that spoiled that business, or that didn't make that business work out. At the time, I just didn't really enjoy selling, or I was shying away from selling. And honestly, I feel like that was the thing that truly ruined that business, because I eventually got the products. It took way longer than I wanted, but I eventually got the products, and I just tried to outsource the selling to other people. So I tried to outsource it to one of my dad's nurses, because my dad is a doctor, and I tried to outsource it to my girlfriend at the time. I just didn't want to be involved in the selling. I don't know if I was ashamed of selling at the time, but I had a very negative feeling towards selling, and I tried to avoid it as much as possible. That was why that business did not work out. I eventually sold out the products, at least majority of them. I didn't feel the need to want to continue because I just had a very bad experience with me shipping the products in, having that delay, taking like a lot of months to just even sell out the products. And I just shut down that business. During COVID, because I was still in college at the time, I was just at home. I was bored. I was not doing anything. And I decided to give dropshipping a shot. So my mom has a friend that does dropshipping as well. And she does dropshipping for female handbags. So I was a bit skeptical about doing it because I didn't quite understand how someone would pay me money and then I won't be the one to deliver the products, because in the e-commerce world that I came from, I was responsible for the product. But with dropshipping, I won't be responsible for the product. And that kind of made it so that I was not quite sure if this is something that I wanted to do. But I eventually talked myself into it because I saw people online doing it. I had a few friends at the time who were also doing it. So I was like, you know what, let me just give this a shot. So I decided to start dropshipping. So I just connected to our supplier. I got his contact details, and then I started trying to find people to purchase the bags. So this was the first business where I felt like I truly gave it my all, because I did achieve some level of success from doing this business. The things that I feel helped me get the most success from the business was, first things first, was I modeled another business that was also an e-commerce business, and I just modeled everything they were doing for my own business. So how they were posting their content on social media, I even modeled their brand colors, to be honest, which is kind of insane. And basically everything involved with that brand, I just modeled it for my own dropshipping brand. That was the first thing. Second thing that I did was cold outbound to get leads, because I was a new business person. I didn't have any contact details. I didn't know anybody, but I would reach out to random strangers online who I felt like were in my ideal market, and I would just ask them to give me their phone numbers because I have a bag brand, and I send them tips on how to use their handbags better and so on and so forth. And I was able to collect about 10,000 contacts just by doing that. So every day I would reach out to about 100 plus people on social media, and I would use that to grow my contact list. And then when I was feeling like, oh, this thing is working on Instagram, I tried to do it on Twitter as well, and it worked amazingly well. Back then, Instagram didn't have these restrictions that they have on their platforms right now, so I could reach out to as many people as possible. And I was able to build a massive contact base from just doing that. And I sold quite a number of handbags by doing that. But the things that I felt ruined that business was, first thing, I was focusing on the wrong things. So I was focusing more on like the brand, providing value, teaching these people how to use the handbags more, how to be more feminine, and so on and so forth. I wasn't focusing on like the true thing of that business, which was just having as much diversity as possible in the products and hammering these products in front of them as many times as possible. So back then, I still had a negative feeling towards selling. So I wasn't promoting the bags as much as I should have. That was one of the things I felt killed that business. Second thing was it was low ticket product. The products were not expensive and your profit margins are already slim rather with dropshipping. And then they were low ticket products. And that kind of ruined the experience with that because I wasn't making like that much money for every bag that I sold. Another thing I felt killed that business was I didn't spend any money on ads, which is so dumb thinking about it now. So dumb. I was just basically spending all the money I was making. Maybe because I was getting clients from just doing the reach outs on social media, but I should have spent money on ads. I should have tried to get as many people as possible from ads. I should have reinvested some of the money I was making into ads. But it got to a point where I ran out of people to sell to, and I didn't get any sales for like 2 months. So that was very frustrating. Or maybe if I would get a sale, it would be one every month or like two every month. It was just so bad. It wasn't as frequent as it was before. And that wasn't fun for me. So while I was doing the drop shipping thing, something else that I tried as well was affiliate marketing. But I'm not sure why at the time, for the life of me, I just could not crack affiliate marketing. I could not get a sale. Like no matter what I tried, I just could not get a sale. It was an affiliate marketing platform and it also came with a course. So I didn't buy the course that came with the platform because I could not afford it. I just paid to get access to the platform. And I was trying to sell the affiliate products on my own by just modeling what other people were doing. But I could not quite crack this one. Maybe if I had bought the course, things would have been different and I would understand things that I didn't understand at the time. But I could not quite crack that, and that really sucked because I spent so much time and energy trying to make that work. Maybe I got one sale one time from a thread that I made on Twitter, and that was basically it. I just could not crack it. I'm not sure why, but yeah, that didn't work out. But in the process of doing affiliate marketing, I read a sales page for a product I was trying to promote at the time. It was a forex trading product, and I remember just falling in love with that page and everything that came with it. I was truly mind blown by the quality of the words, how the person put together the arguments. I was looking to sell that product to other people, but from reading that page, I almost felt inclined to purchase the product as well, but it was just too expensive at the time. I could not afford it. So, lucky for me, while I was reading the page, I scrolled all the way to the bottom of the page and I saw the name of the person who wrote the copy on the page. I just Googled him. His name is Andy Mukolo. And if you don't know who Andy is, he's a truly amazing person. I love him so much. And he was the one who introduced me to like marketing, copywriting, that kind of thing. I feel like he was also the first person to introduce copywriting to Nigerians, if I'm not mistaken. But Andy was the person that I found first. And every person you see now who is doing well with copywriting in Nigeria, some of that has come from Andy Mukolo, in my opinion. He doesn't sell copywriting courses as much as he used to back in the day, but he's still a copywriter. He's just a bit more low-key now. But Andy was who introduced me to copywriting. So I joined his email list. And again, one good thing that I feel like I did at the time was code outbound again. So I started reaching out to people who were a bit more advanced in the space and just asking them if they would mentor me. So I wrote this cold email that just shared with them a little bit about my story to mentor me, basically. And I reached out to a lot of people. And I remember Stefan Georgi responded. I remember Stefan reached out to me back and he sent me a Loom video, just giving me some advice. He didn't take me on as a mentee because he had a program at the time. So it would make sense for him to take me on as a mentee. But he gave me advice and just told me my copy was already good and I just needed to start looking for clients. And that was what encouraged me to start looking for clients. And in the process of that, a guy named Chris reached out to me while I was doing those reach outs to people. And Chris was like, he has been seeing my name everywhere for some reason. I think he saw my name on Twitter, like maybe he saw it as a recommended person to follow or something like that on Twitter and LinkedIn. And he just reached out to me and asked me like what I do and stuff. And it turned out Chris was a lot more ahead of the game than I was. I didn't reach out to Chris. I reached out to other people because I was looking for someone to mentor me. But Chris ended up being my mentor at the time. And it's just funny how the universe works, right? The next thing after copywriting was getting a job or getting a client. And damn, that took a long time. and it was very frustrating and very annoying. It took me about 9 months to sign my first like real client that actually paid me some decent money. And I got a couple of jobs on Upwork, like some $60 design gigs and stuff. But it wasn't anything substantial until I got that job with that person, which I'll get into in a bit. But the thing about the Upwork thing was I really struggled to sign clients generally. And then I bought an Upwork course, and that course was what helped me land that client because I basically just followed everything that the person was saying in the course. And the guy in the course was just saying if you send 6 proposals a day for 60 days, it is unreasonable for you not to land your first client. And honestly, from the point where I bought that course to getting that client that paid me a lot of money, it didn't take me less than a month because I was just sending a lot of proposals in a very, very short period of time. So I signed that client. The client was a Facebook ad agency, and they wanted to hire me as a copywriter to write ads for their agency. So I had the interview. I think it was $200 per client. So that was when Imangaji's SMMA thing was popular. So the person worked with e-commerce brands and they wanted to outsource the copywriting for the ads to somebody else. So it was $200 per client. And when I came on, he had about 2 clients or so that I was working for him for. During the interview process, the person themselves like could see that I was decent at copy, but for some reason, because I even wrote like a copy sample for them, but for some reason, I could not just write the type of copy that they needed for their ads because they wanted like shorter, punchier copy, and it was an e-commerce fashion brand for that matter. And I was coming from the direct response world, so I wanted my stuff to be longer, like dig into more pain points and so on and so forth. So I could not transfer my skills properly into what they were doing. But what saved me was skill stacking. Because as soon as I got into the agency, I was already in the funny Twitter world. I was already seeing what people were doing. And at the time, e-commerce email marketing was very popular at the time. So many people were doing it. So I was already looking into that world. I already like bought courses from people like Rob Allen and so on and so forth. And the clients were not doing anything with email. So I just asked the guy if I could take that on and just do that instead. And it was a Facebook ad agency. To show you how crazy this was, it was not offering any email marketing services at all. But when I said I could do the email side of things, he added that as a service to those clients and I was able to upsell the clients. And that was how I got my first big, I won't say big, like looking back at it, it was very small. But to me at the time, it was life changing. That was how I got my first big bump in salary. So I basically did email marketing for those clients. And he took my pay from $200 per client to $350 per client. And I managed their whole email marketing. And I just stopped doing Facebook ads at all. So if I didn't have that email marketing thing going for me, it would have just dropped me because I wasn't providing value with regards to writing copy for his Facebook ads, or I didn't have the skill sets at the time to transfer my skills properly into writing Facebook ads. But the email marketing thing was what saved me. And that was because I was constantly skill stacking and I was just learning from people who were also in the space and trying to get better at the craft. And that was how I found e-commerce email marketing. So I worked with this person for 2 years, I think. I worked with his clients. It was 2 clients initially. Then it became 1 because one of the clients were not happy with what I was doing with their paid ads. And that affected me. The client wanted to keep me at the time and just fire the agency, but that went against my morals. And I remember having like a very deep conversation with my friend about whether or not I should work with her because she was willing to pay me what she was paying him, which would have tripled my income at the time for me to just manage that email marketing outside of him. But I said no. Maybe I should have said yes looking back at it, but I said no. It went against my morals at the time. That was that for the email marketing thing. So I worked with him for 2 years and I was still in college at the time. I barely had time to even fulfill for these 2 clients. And I knew I wanted to make more money. And I didn't just have the time to make more money because all my time was spent between school and fulfilling for the 2 clients I was working with. So at the time, my business partner now, Michael, my best friend, I love him to death. We're living together at the time. So I just told him that, you know what, why don't we just partner together and start an agency? Like I barely even have time to manage these 2 clients. I feel like if we partner together, we would be able to scale the agency further. And that was when we partnered together and we created like an e-commerce agency on the side. So I was still working with these clients, but me and Michael were also trying to get clients for the agency. That year was a dark year because we could not just get clients. I think it was because e-commerce was so popular at the time. Everybody had an e-commerce agency. But no matter what we tried, it was very, very hard to get clients. We signed a few clients though. We signed one person who dropped us after like 2 weeks, and we only made about $100 from that client. We signed another person on the trial project, and they didn't love the quality of the work, so they basically dropped us as well. The one person we signed for our agency that actually paid us money came from someone who DM'd me on Twitter. Because while all this was happening, I was posting content consistently on Twitter and like posting about e-commerce, email marketing, talking about how people should prioritize this, like giving value, talking about what I was doing with hiring us clients. That's like the agency I was working with, talking about what I was doing with them, trying to get people on board with the idea of doing e-commerce, email marketing. And I posted content for about a year straight. And then at the end of the year, I think around October or so, someone reached out to me randomly and said he wants me to help with his email marketing for his fashion brand. So he had a luxury fashion brand. We basically took him on. So that was the first client that I felt like paid me some decent money from email marketing. I worked with him for a while and we made like quite a decent amount of money from doing that. We had a Black Friday promo that did really, really well. We were selling products through his email and that worked well and we made some money from doing that. While all that was happening, my friend Michael also got a job with another e-commerce email marketing agency to basically manage their email marketing. And that was a big deal for us at the time. So he landed that job from Upwork and he was working with that agency. I can't quite remember anymore how all of a sudden I got to a point where I barely had any clients anymore. And I was looking to transition from doing e-commerce email marketing. Or maybe I still had one client at the time. He wasn't paying me that much money. So I wanted to land more email marketing clients, basically. I bought Troy Erickson's program and I could not even afford to buy it at the time. I had to borrow money from Michael to buy the course. And I joined Troy Erickson's email list management program. And it was in that program my world got open to a different thing when it came to email marketing. Like I saw the other possibilities of using email marketing in different kinds of businesses. Before then, my brain was only e-commerce. But when I joined that program, my world got open to a different thing entirely. And the skills that I had, how I was able to write like copy that was more direct response heavy, I found a niche where I could easily apply that. And that was in the coaching and info product space. I started looking for info product clients. And I was trying to reach out to these people. I was sending them email samples for me to take on their email marketing. And then I started modeling people who had like a bigger coaching business, just seeing what they were doing on the back end with their emails. And I started learning from that, just when you're hacking people to see what they were doing. I remember I was on a coaching call with the person who like ran the coaching calls at the time. I think his name is Dom or something. So I was on a coaching call with him and I basically asked him, I wanted to ask a question. I had anxiety for asking that question. I'm not sure why. Maybe because people were on the call too as well. But I had been doing like the manual reach outs, sending like email samples and stuff. And it was very slow because it was taking a lot of time for me to put together the sample. I eventually asked a question on that call and he recommended I send Looms instead. I did that. And in like 2 weeks, I landed my first info product client. So she was amazing. We worked with her for, I think, about a year or so. And she was the first client that I actually made true money for. And then she referred us 2 more clients. Those 2 clients referred us more clients and things just spiraled from there. So when things were going great, I decided to tell Michael to join us back in the agency. And we basically partnered up for this info product agency as well. And we just started working hard to scale and work with these clients. So at the time we were working with clients who were either already running a webinar funnel or were planning to run a webinar funnel. And we were helping them with the back end. So the post-webinar automation, abandoned cart automations, daily emails, promos, and so on and so forth. And we signed a bunch of clients on that package. And that was when I truly experienced like true growth and financial freedom from my online business. It's relative because it still isn't a lot of money that we were making at the time. We're just working with these info clients now. So the biggest challenge we faced while all this was happening is, for some reason, we only always had one client who was paying us a lot of money. And the remaining clients were usually clients that weren't paying us as much, or we'll just be doing all this work. They won't pay us as much money. So we've always only had one client that was really, really successful. And then the remaining 3-4 clients they were making money, but it won't be as much. And we're just spending all this time working on these clients. That was the case for about a year, right? And then this year, about 6-7 months ago, we had a client that was also referred to us. We had a funnel that was working for her, and that funnel just stopped working. I don't want to get to the details of why, because it's something that we could have fixed, but we're trying different things, but it was not working. And we decided to try a challenge funnel instead. But the client was not willing to invest any money into ads or take any risk when it came to the challenge funnel, because we're also doing a challenge funnel for another client that was working well. But when that client came to us, she was already doing a challenge funnel. So we just decided to scale that particular client. Anyways, point is, she didn't want to make the investment or commit to doing the challenge funnel because she had not tried it before. And the current things that we're doing right now was not working. So my business partner and I decided to fund the ads for this client. And that was a big risk. And we were very scared to fund the ads, but it worked out. And we had a massive launch when the ads were finished, when the challenge was done. She has an 8K program, and we sold about 15 or so spots in that 8K program. So we made a ton of money from that. And that was the first ever time where we actually had more than one client that was crushing it at the same time. And then we applied a challenge funnel to another client, and that client also crushed it. So now we had 3 clients who were crushing it at the same time. And that just helped us grow the agency a lot further. That was really cool, to be honest. And now we have the 4th, the 5th, the 6th clients who are all crushing it simultaneously because we are using a challenge funnel now. So it's been a long journey to get to this point. I hope you found some value in this. If you found this valuable, if you resonated with anything that I shared, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And if you have a coaching business and you are currently stuck in the revenue roller coaster, where some months you make a ton of money, some months you don't make money, or you're making money before and things have suddenly stopped working, there's a link in the description that you can check out. It has a video where I explain what we do. At the end of the video, I encourage you to book a call. And if you're interested, book that call. If you're not, then that's totally fine. But thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.